Good evening. Welcome to the Land Timber Stream. It's time to network, folks. You know what time it is. You've gotten through your work day. Got that date ahead of you. Might be a lab. Might be a written exam. Maybe it's an interview. And you're studying networking. You're trying to get your skills up to fluff. You've had dinner. Watched a little news maybe. Relaxed. And now it's your time. Time to study, right? So that's where we're at, guys and gals. I want to do a couple things. One, pull up the stand. I'm trying to up my game here on how I'm doing the stream. Get a little more organized. I'm so disorganized, right? But this is our title tonight, reward system, just grinding for the written exam. That's what we're doing. We're just grinding. What else can I say? 40 days. Tomorrow we will be in the 30s. So, yeah, time to grind. I want to talk a little bit about reward system. I've talked about this before, and this has come up in my mind the last few days. The last two times I've taken the Boson exam, XSIM exam, it's very, I think, it's going to really help identify my weak areas pretty realistically for the actual written exam. Last two times I've passed, okay? Can't tell you how many times I've taken it before and not passed. But the last two times I've got a same score, 880 out of 1,000, which is a passing grade in the exam sim, which it feels pretty good. It really does. I think part of that is due to giving more impetus to the straight up memorization component. I don't like to have to memorize things. I'll be honest, guys. I haven't taken a lot of notes. When I started out studying for the CCI, I don't know what kind of note taker you are, okay? I used to be a horrendous note taker. When I say horrendous, I mean so detailed as if, as if I was Moses standing on the rock. No disrespect intended, right? But, and the commandments are being dictated to me, and I had the fear of losing anything. So I used to be that kind of note taker. Over the years, I have gotten away from that and realized, especially I've done some public speaking too in the past, and I realized that, you cannot, it's not good to work off of, to use notes as a script, Now, if I was a politician, that'd be different. But when you're speaking or teaching and when you're studying, in my opinion, it's not good to write down put down word for word what you're studying. The notes can be used in different. I think I have vlogged about this before, and I didn't really intend to vlog about this all night, but just really brief. We've had discussion about this too when I was in the Nashville study group. Basically, different people have different methods of taking notes, but the point is, whatever works for you is good. What works for me is not word for word. As a matter of fact, note-taking for me has become a way of just the ingestion part of learning. Because, to be honest, I took a lot of notes when I was reading networking with TCP/IP, TCP/IP Volume 1. Man, I love those books. Took a lot of notes, not word for word, but, sometimes it'd be screenshots. I was using some OneNote, and I've done it all. I've used paper. I've used notebooks. I've used Evernote. For years, I used Evernote. I used OneNote for years. Now I'm using basically iNotes, I guess it's called, the Notes app. But for me lately, taking notes is just to help with the absorption rate during the ingestion process. In other words, I don't even look at them later. Hardly, right? It's kind of my philosophy too with vlogging versus blogging. I'm pretty much in the now, stream of consciousness, stream of information kind of thing. That being said, there comes a point when you realize that certain information will only be retained and is necessary. Yes, we do live in the Google age, right? Times have changed so much from when I was a kid and when you need information now and you just Google it, right? Night and day. But still, when there are certain things that we are expected to be able to recall from memory for these exams. So I finally, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, I accepted the fact that, you know what, as much as I hate it, I've got to memorize some stuff, right? And that's where this whole memory drill sheet came from. And before I was just kind of trying to learn via some screenshots I collected, but at some certain point, like, I got to memorize this stuff, right? Whether I agree with it or not, you got to do it. So that's where I'm at now, and I think it has really helped. But getting back to the reward system, so I have this concept of before I sit and take the written exam, before I do any test like this, before Cisco Live starts, I want to be well rested, right? I want to be mentally prepared, relaxed. And with that in mind, I've kind of given myself the option, maybe, if I keep doing well, doesn't mean I'm going to slack off, but I'm going to take a couple days off prior to the exam, and maybe an extra day or two as kind of a reward. So this is going to string me out because there's plenty of nights where I've been tired. I'm like, oh man, let me just chill tonight. But I'm trying to do this as a daily routine, and I'm putting a carrot on a stick in front of myself. No, it's not a motorcycle this time. Show IP interface brief, you're listening. I know we kidded about that. That was probably kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deal when I talked about getting the CCNP. No, I'm talking about, and this I have to admit, guys, I actually resisted some temptation recently. I was watching someone stream. I love the gaming, right? A lot of us do. A lot of IT people love. We're also gamers. I'm no different. But I'm not playing any games right now. I would love to. I watch a lot of games on Twitch. But the other day I was watching someone stream and they typed in the chat, we're doing a giveaway. We're giving you a evaluation code for this game that I really, really, really want to play right now. But I haven't, because I know what's going to happen. If I start playing, it's going to be hard to stop and, that kind of thing. So anyway, I won an evaluation code, like a 14-day free version of the game. So I'm thinking, all right, I will use this to my advantage, right? Instead of this being a constant temptation, I'm going to put out there, like, I will give myself a day of gaming on this thing, like before, if I'm still doing well, if I'm still passing, and I'm getting better and better. So my point is, it's good to have a little reward system like that. It could be anything, I'm going to go, if I study Monday through Thursday night of this week, then on Friday, I go to the bar and I get a 16-ounce of my favorite, lager, all right? It could be, if I go 6 days studying this week, 7th day, I buy a Hershey bar, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be simple, but reward yourself, and celebrate your achievements. And I think that's important emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever you want to say. But I really believe in that. It has helped motivate me in the past, because when you're grinding it, right now I'm grinding it. I'm about to go through this worksheet again. This is what I'm working on tonight, the drill sheet. I added some more things to it, by the way. And last night, I did pass. Show IP interface brief and I were both going to do it last night. And I did it after the stream. And I passed the same grade, like I said. Post that on Instagram and Twitter today. But anyway, I've updated this sheet. There's some things that I missed. And there's some things that I got right, but I felt like I was lucky. You ever feel that, like where you hit a question and you think, or you pass an exam and you remember some of those questions that you think man, on some of those, I only got them right because I'm lucky. Like, so that happened to me, and I thought, okay, I need to come back on a couple of these, and I really need to learn these. So what I'm going to do after the stream is I'm going to download this thing as Excel. This is the same written drill sheet I talked about last night. And I'm just going to go through as far as I can, fill out the yellow sheet, side A as it were, and then check side B and make sure that I got it right. I'm going to do that over and over again until I got these new areas right. Some of the new ones were LLDP, DHCP request, and I should know this. You know, the 4 steps of DHCP request. I got one of them wrong, so I'm going to memorize that. PFR monitoring or PFR routing cost policies. The IPv6 address block. There was the multicast address block. I got something wrong there. The iOS XE sub packages. I got this question right, but I need to review that some more. And then I got this wrong. There was TACAX plus radius authentication accounting. Like which ports are used. Like I know that TACAX plus is TCP and radius is UDP. I know that. But which radius ports are used by authentication versus accounting? I need to know that. So just things like that. I'm going to be studying that tonight after the stream. And I might do a few. I'm not going to do a full exam tonight. I'm tempted to. But I think I'm just going to pick a few random questions, see if I get any wrong, and study those areas. That's really about it for tonight, folks. I got a couple of good meat chunks here. One is, I saw on Twitter, a Python script. This is going to be my next big thing, right? After CCIE routing switching, after that happens, it's going to happen. I'm convinced. Anyway, I want to get into automation and maybe Python and Ansible, things like that. So there's a couple links that reflect that. This one is a Python script for downloading YouTube videos and converting them to MP3s. I've done this before with other software. And I'll tell you what, I can't necessarily endorse this. I don't know if this violates YouTube's policies or not. Maybe it does. Hey, Frosthammer, good to have you, my friend. Good to have you tonight on the stream. Hope you're having a good Tuesday night. We got through Monday. We're on Tuesday. So good to see you, my friend. But yeah, so on this, I've done this before, and I'll tell you why I've done it. It's not I have YouTube Red. I just signed up, my wife and I, last month because she, at her work, she's in an area where she studies about as much as I do. In fact, she's at a class tonight. But she's doing language studies, and there's a lot of material on YouTube that she wants to listen to while she's either driving or at work. So we got YouTube Red, which allows you to do that. But an even better way would be to convert these to MP3s, right? So I've done this in the past when I was studying for CCNA, CCNP. I would do this on a Linux box because I was basically, I was running with Linux at the time, and I would download the videos. I think they download the FLV format. I'm not sure, and then do a conversion, and then I put them on my phone. And man, when commuting, I would listen to networking stuff. It wasn't like I was trying to steal music, But anyway, there's a link here. Like I said, I can't endorse it. This is on Twitter. Use your own judgment. Then there's a beginner's guide to NetDevOps with Cisco Devnet and Ansible. This looked pretty cool. I think it's an hour-long presentation. I have not listened to it, but I did download. There's a PDF of the slides, and this looks really good, actually. This looks like a really quality presentation, so... And there's some good, Hank Preston, follow him on Twitter. Anyway, you might want to check that out if you're in the whole DevNet thing. And then there's some end of sale, end of life announcements for some APs. I was a little surprised by, I think, one of these. But anyway, we always touch on wireless. If you're involved with that, there are some announcements there. If that's, be thinking about your budgets. And do you need to upgrade? Yeah, it looks like the SPF have to get real comfortable with SSH. Yes, and that is true. Then indeed, that's one of the things on the Frosthammer. One of the evolving technologies question, or some of the material is about comparing Puppet, Chef, Ansible, and Salt, right? And that's one thing that seems to be real. That is one big advantage of Ansible is the fact that you don't have to install. You don't have to with Salt either, but I think Ansible kind of stands out in the fact that it doesn't require an agent to be installed on the client, on the target. But of course, you do need SSH, you do need keys, you need authentication. Authentication is never easy, right? Now with Salt and a master and minions, that does probably alleviate some of that. I don't know. But I know that's one of the big advantages, and that is one of the reasons why F5, which I work with a lot, specifically recommends Ansible, because think about Salt, for example. Or any software, you have to put a client on the machine. So the downside to that, of course, is if you think about an F5 device, for example. All right, so that's running a variant, proprietary version of Linux. So now you have to get code that will install the client on the F5, and that's code that has to be up and running. And if it crashes or has a bug or something like that, you're going to have an issue connecting. The same with like a lot of the monitoring software out there, whether it's SolarWinds, things like that. To monitor a lot of the devices, you have to have Windows devices, for example, or Linux devices. You have to install some sort of agent in a lot of cases for it to work ideally. So I understand the advantages of Ansible. But yeah, some of that SSH stuff probably can get a little tricky. SSH can be very particular, I know. But anyway, yeah, good stuff. I'm really excited to get into that at some point. But yeah, just thought I'd share that with you folks. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to get to studying. I'm going to hit those bits, guys and gals, and encourage you to do the same. Whatever track you're on, whatever your goal is right now, whatever time you have this evening to to continue heading forward. Keep driving ahead. And thanks for hanging out in the stream, guys. I didn't announce the other day. There's so many like little stream things I need to do, but I'm trying to up my game here. We had a new subscriber, and I don't remember seeing announcing this Gexalock. So anyway, I'm now starting the streams with Streamlabs up, so I can see when people follow. And before I was kind of relying on a little notification, on the stream you get a little notification from Streamlabs, but I'm going to try to step up my game on that. Dude for him, day 5 of INA BGP. Oh wow, yeah, that is a grind too, dude for him, because I finished that. I assume you're referring to the INA Advanced Technologies workbook, and yeah, I finished those. It seemed to take. I think that took me more than a month to just get through all those labs the first time. They are a grind, and it's interesting when you hit a new section. Oh, you're on the CCNP route version. Okay, well, may not take you a month, but that's awesome, man. So CCNP route, yeah, I'm trying to remember the CCNP route and some of the BG questions. I seem to remember in the CCNP route that there were some, man, it's been too long. It seems like it's been a while, but I seem to remember from the lab that there were some simulation aspects of the lab, and it's probably changed since I've taken it. Yeah, same here. There was not much for BGP. I do remember some OSPF. I remember some EIGRP. There seemed to be a lot of focus on that in the CCNP route. And Simlet, yeah, it was. There were little simlets Real basic stuff, yes. And BGP was just kind of like, it's almost like you were studying for a written exam with the BGP because you were just going to have questions. But yeah, BGP is awesome, let me tell you. I love, it's funny when you get to the INE workbook and you hit a new section and you're like, okay, I've heard a lot about BGP, but, I haven't done a lot of work with it. And then you start doing labs in it. You're like, this is really cool. I love this, You start to nerd out. And yes, there are a lot of nerd knobs, Frosthammer. BGP is really, really awesome. And I remember watching the INE videos and like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah, BGP order of preference. Is that... let me look at that link. This is one of the things on my drills. For inbound updates. Oh, this is cool. Yeah. In terms of like ingesting routes and advertising routes. For inbound updates. Yeah, this is for update processing, right? But yeah, in my worksheet here, in the drill sheet, BGP best path selection, that's challenging. I seem to remember this being on the route exam. It's funny because... Oh, sorry, Frosthammer. I haven't figured out this chat and the links yet. I don't mind people posting links in here. Yes, best path selection algorithm. So I would definitely learn this for the route. And you definitely need it for the written also. So this doesn't go away. Yeah, good one, Frosthammer. This is, as a matter of fact, this is in this drill sheet, and you may find part of this helpful. But there's a little acronym that some people use. I say Walla Omni, but that may help you. And there's some other cute ones too that people have come up with, but you definitely want to memorize this. That's great, dude, for him. Good luck on that, guys. So yeah, let's hit some study night, folks, and we'll keep the conversation going in Discord and encourage each other and continue grinding away. And thanks again for stopping in and hanging out in the chat, folks. Really appreciate it. We will see you guys in Discord, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow night for an update here in the LAN Tamer stream.